Hi, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. Can everyone hear me really quickly? Feel free to just let me know.
Yep, we can hear you.
Awesome, great. So hold on one second as I get this PowerPoint up. Hope everyone's having a wonderful morning. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. So I'm sorry, everyone. It's just not showing up. Let me try that again.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So my name is Audrey Dennis, and I work here with Miami Homes for All. Welcome to the 2018 iCount Miami webinar. So really briefly, what we're going to be talking about today is about the iCount, the process, roles and responsibilities, review data collection, forms and protocols, and what our next steps would be. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them anytime. I'm sure there's a chat box here, so you can put in your questions there, or feel free to email me whenever possible. So I am the person to contact. Again, my name is Audrey Dennis. For those of you who are joining by phone, my phone number is, my direct line, 786-469-2062. And my cell is 786-246-0640. And my email is aaradanas, so it's AARADANAS @miamiHomesForAll.org. That's FOR. Sometimes people might confuse it with the number 4.
Audrey, are we supposed to be looking at something while we're on this call, or is it mostly just on the phone?
You can join via phone, or you could be here on Zoom. This is what this is called. It's a webinar. You should be seeing something on your screen.
I'm not seeing it now. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Right now, what you should be seeing is the Homie Collective. But if you are unable to see this right now, I'm definitely sending this out to everyone via email in case you're unable to see this. Okay. So about what we do as the Homie Collective, our vision is for youth homelessness in Miami-Dade to be a rare occurrence, and when it does occur, it is a brief and one-time experience. Our mission is to create a community dedicated to preventing and ending youth homelessness, and our goal is to work with multi-sector organizations to create a comprehensive system of care in order to prevent and address youth homelessness here in our community. Our 4 outcome strategies are for youth to access well-being, affordable primary and behavioral health care, stable housing, of course, safe, stable, and affordable housing, education and employment opportunities. Not many people know this, but here in Miami-Dade County in the state of Florida, homeless youth and youth in the foster care system are able to access technical colleges, public universities, and public colleges for free. Tuition waiver for them. And then we want to make sure that youth are connected to permanent connections. They have healthy and stable mentorship opportunities, and they're connected to sorts of adult health, healthy relationships with adults, or they could be reconnected with family. So about youth homelessness in general, there are many different definitions, and this is where sometimes it gets confusing, and I'm going to help you walk through this. And again, just to reiterate, you are getting this presentation via email, and I'll be actually sending you a whole folder of all iCount materials. So according to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, a youth is experiencing homelessness. If there's 4 different categories. They could be living somewhere not meant for human habitation. They might lose their primary residence within 14 days. They could have a family and they have moved 2 or more times in the past 60 days, or they could be fleeing domestic violence. According to the Department of Education, a young person experiencing homelessness is one that lacks a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. They could be doubled up or couch surfing. So this means that, you know, there's multiple families living under one home, or they could be going from couch to couch. We all may know someone who has been sleeping on a friend's couch for some time, you know. So these are things that we want to focus on. Or they could be living somewhere where it's not meant for sleeping accommodation. They could be living in a car, park, public spaces, abandoned buildings. They could be squatting. You know, some youth may be living in abandoned homes or foreclosed homes. They could be living in substandard housing, bus or train stations. And they could also be migratory children. We found that there's been an influx of youth experiencing homelessness, escaping from the storm in Puerto Rico. There's been an increase in that population. Also, this includes runaway youth. So these are young people who absent themselves from home without permission of a parent or legal guardian, or they've left somewhere where it was not safe for them to be, and they have no other living arrangement. To the state of Florida, a young person, an unaccompanied homeless youth, is 16 years of age or older. But again, you know, just focusing on all those different definitions. So we're looking at the HUD definition, the Department of Education definition, the runaway. And I know this may be a little overwhelming because these are a lot of definitions, but again, you are receiving this presentation. If you are unsure, if you know that you know a young person experiencing housing instability, I definitely recommend you survey them. So again, you know, other key terms: throwaway youth, you know, youth that have been kicked out from home, runaway youth, street youth, systems youth. We found that a lot of youth experiencing homelessness are those that are aging out of foster care, or they're exiting the juvenile justice system. We also find that a lot of youth experiencing homelessness are LGBTQA, thus were asked to leave from home. Some youth that are, you know, currently experiencing homelessness may be victims of human trafficking. They could be forced into commercial sex or forced labor. So here are some quick facts about youth homelessness here in our community. So in last year's 2017 PIC count, this is the, you know, general point in time count. You know, we counted 141 unaccompanied youth. Some were under the age of 16. Many were over the age of 18, between the ages of 18 to 24. Many were also homeless parenting youth. Many were unaccompanied, so they did not have a parent or guardian. But again, many of them were sheltered. So last year, a lot of you helped with doing the 2017 iCount, and you were amazing in, you know, counting 165 unaccompanied youth. 34 were unsheltered, 12 were sheltered. So these were just some of the statistics from last year's iCount. And if you have any questions, you know, I'll be more than happy to share with you the whole 2017 iCount report. But this is what we're hoping to do this year again, is just to really understand the statistics. That way we can better serve our community and figure out, okay, well, what can we do better as a community? So about the iCount in general, again, this is the point in time count of sheltered and unsheltered homeless youth, ages 13 to 24 in Miami-Dade County. We're specifically targeting unaccompanied homeless youth. So these are young people with no parent or guardian, and they don't have a permanent place to sleep. I think that's like the biggest thing to think of when you're figuring out who to target to take the survey. Just, you know, try to see, okay, does this young person have a permanent place to sleep? Yes. We may not have to survey them. Do they not have a permanent place to sleep? Definitely survey them. We're focusing on the dates January 26th to the 31st. And these are some of the partners that we've been working with. So I work with Miami Homes for All, and we work closely with the Homeless Trust, MDCPS Project Upstart, Educate Tomorrow, and many others under the Homie Collective. Again, the iCount, you know, we really just want to understand the dimensions of youth homelessness in our community, and help establish a system of care that is responsive to the needs of homeless youth. And then, you know, all the results will then help our local service providers, especially the Homeless Trust, to determine how best to allocate our resources. Okay, should we be focusing, you know, in the statistics earlier, according to the PIC count, we see that many are, you know, young women who are experiencing homelessness. Okay, so let's make sure that we're, you know, putting in money into these types of programs. We see that a lot of youth experiencing homelessness are youth of color. Okay, what can we do to help this population, empower this population? So who will you serve? Again, just to reiterate, focus on unaccompanied youth with experiencing housing instability, ages 13 to 24. I recommend staying away from the word homeless. A lot of youth do not identify as homeless. They could be living on the street, in a shelter, transitional housing program. They could be doubled up, couch surfing. They might be staying in a hotel, motel, these sorts of things. Another, really important point, if a young person is usually in Broward, but for whatever reason, they happen to be in Miami-Dade County within January 26th to 31st, definitely target that young person and survey them. So how are we doing this? We are definitely going to be doing this all online. We're going to try to stay away from paper just to reduce the amount of, invalid surveys, trying to make things more efficient. So we're going to go to www.icountmiami.com, and you're going to see a button that says Enter Survey Portal. And when you're done with that, you just submit that. However, I know that some people may not have access to computers in their office, so definitely recommend, if you're doing that on paper, please enter that survey within that same day or within the week of the iCount, definitely before the 31st, before it ends. We're also having youth ambassadors and volunteers administering the survey electronically. We're actually going to have some tablets. So again, your roles is to really just outreach and target, and recruit known youth. So many of you have clients, or many of you already know the youth in your facility that are experiencing homelessness. Target them and let them know that there's a $5 Publix gift card that they can receive, and survey them. I recommend that you sit with them. You could administer this survey via phone, as long as you're the one clicking on the survey and doing that. But if they're with you in person, sit with them, and read out the questions with them, because sometimes it might get a little confusing. Ingrid, did you have a question?
Could you?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you hear me, Audrey?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, is there any specific location that you would want us to target in Miami?
So all of these magnet sites are already placed in specific locations. So we have parks here, we have schools here, so they're already in a stable location. So for those of you who are magnet sites and volunteering, I recommend that we'll talk about that in our in-person volunteer training. Okay, Ingrid?
Okay, thank
Awesome.
you.
So again, we really just want to, focus on that this survey is anonymous. We're not collecting any names. All we're collecting is initials and date of birth. That's the only personal information that we're asking for. And then, it's confidential. This is not to be shared with anyone. The only people seeing these surveys are definitely just the University of Miami. They're the ones that are analyzing our data, and the Homeless Trust, when they, look at this whole report. Youth must give their verbal consent to take the survey. Never pressure a young person if they don't feel comfortable. If they don't want to answer any of the questions, you can definitely just move on, just put refuse to answer or finish the survey. When they ask why am I taking this, let them know that we can't help unless we know the need. Emphasize confidentiality. It is anonymous and voluntary. Again, this is just what the iCount will have, date of birth, current living situation, history of what's happening right now. And one question that we did add to this iCount is understanding our needs. So one question is specifically about what was difficult for you to access this year? Was it lack of transportation? Was it housing? Was it, this, that, or whatever? So that's another, really cool question that we're asking in this year's iCount. So hopefully we can then understand, okay, which department should we be working with? How should we be advocating? These sorts of things. Again, so when you go to the iCount website, this is what it's going to look like. And then you're going to click Enter Survey Portal, and you're going to have a 4-digit code. In the folder that I'm going to send you all today after this session, you will have a list of all the magnet sites, and you'll see the 4-digit code that you have. And you use that whenever you're entering the survey. Again, this is what the website will look like. I just did it. I'm just kidding. I did this like some time ago, and you could see this is what when you go to it, and then you'll also see our main magnet site, and you'll see a place for resources. And then the button that I want you to focus on is this one, magnet site. Click here to enter survey portal. That is the button that you will be clicking to enter the portal, and the survey will be available in Creole, Spanish, and English, whichever language the youth feels more comfortable in. So really briefly, this is what the paper survey looks like if you were doing this survey via paper. So you're going to just be, it's pretty self-explanatory. All the questions are yes or no. You're not putting anything on fill in the blank unless, obviously numbers 8 through 10, just understanding, the number of how many weeks or time they were experiencing homelessness. And at the end, you put in your 4-digit code again, just to make sure that this is a magnet site doing this. Just to reiterate, if this is done on paper, please enter your survey online, www.icountmiami.com. Again, I am sending this out to everyone, so you will be getting this presentation. After the survey, complete the survey log with initials and date of birth of each participant. You're going to give them one mini resource guide and one $5 Publix gift card. So this is what the resource guide looks like, and this is the $5 Publix gift card. If you're running low or you ran out of gift cards, please let me know, and I'll be sure to assist you. So this is the survey log. This is just for us to understand, okay, just to keep account of the number of gift cards you've given out and whatnot. So you're going to be putting the date, the participant's initials and date of birth, and your initials. This is the resource guide. It's a mini bifold. We have the homeless helpline number and some of our main magnet sites. So this is just a review of what the iCount Miami process is going to look like. Target and recruit youth, go to the website, administer the survey via phone or in person, submit the survey immediately, or if it's on paper, you try to do it as soon as you can between the week of January 26th to the 31st. Give the participant a mini resource guide and a $5 Publix gift card. Fill in the iCount survey. If you run out of gift cards, let me know. The young person can pick it up here at our facility. Let's say you run out of gift cards on the 31st and you feel that you don't really need to fill up, ask for another gift card, come all the way over here, then go back. I totally understand that you can come here to our offices and pick that up as long as they have that gift card request form. And I'll show that to you in a little bit. However, if they're picking up from your facility, please pick up the gift cards from our offices. This is the gift card request form. As you can see, the first part will have the requester information, and just your information. You're going to fill out your name, your 4-digit code, your contact information, and then the bottom part. This is where your youth will fill out, and they have to bring this to me. Cut off that bottom part. They're just going to put their information, really just their initials, their date of birth. That way, I can match it with the survey, just in case for whatever reason we're running low on gift cards and I want to make sure I account for every one of them. And they can come and pick it up here. And then I'm the one that'll sign the bottom saying that they picked up their card. I hope this makes sense to everyone. I will for sure send this out to everyone, of course, in this presentation as well. So some frequently asked questions. If a youth wants to take the survey again, you can only take it once. If one of the screener questions we have is, have you taken this survey before? And if they have, it automatically exits them out of the survey. If they don't want to answer any more questions, put refuse to answer for the rest of the survey and give them the incentive only if 5 questions are answered. As long as 5 questions are answered on the survey, they can receive the $5 Publix gift card and the resource guide. Uncomfortable answering any questions, do not insist to answer any of the questions. If they feel uncomfortable, again, just check off refuse to answer. Can you repeat questions? Of course. In case there's a language barrier, the survey is available in Spanish and in Creole. there are many other resources. We actually have a youth-friendly resource guide online on our website, and we have some physical copies here in our offices. And we'd be more than happy to share that with you. But again, at miamihomesforall.org, you'll find all of our resources there, and you can also tell them to call the homeless helpline, and that number is in your resource guide. Does anyone have any questions thus far? I know I kind of went over that really quickly. Does anyone have any questions? Again, if you don't feel comfortable asking questions now, you can definitely email me or call me. You have my number and my cell and my email. So I'm going to be sending out a Dropbox link, basically a folder of all of these materials. So I'm going to make sure that you get the flyer, the palm card, which is this thing right here. Some of you may already have this. So you can have this in your facility just in case maybe a youth doesn't want to take a survey with you. They might feel more comfortable just calling in 211. So this palm card will also be on there. The resource card, the survey in English, Spanish, and Creole. That way you have the paper version just in case. The survey log. Gift card request forms, the poster, this presentation, a link to the webinar recording. So this is being recorded, and I'm going to post this on YouTube. So that way, just in case you can rewatch this or share it with your other fellow point persons. And of course, I'm going to send out that 4-digit code list. I think I see here. Seems like there's some questions. So Gabby was asking, are we going to have specific dates to go and pick up gift cards? How many are each group getting? Depending on the group, some groups, got 10, some got 50, depending on how many clients they have. You should just let me know how many you need, and I can try to get you that number. There is a limited number of gift cards that I have in total, but just let me know if you need more gift cards. The Homeless Trust, Miami Homes for All, Pride Lines, and the Alliance have donated, and Miami Bridge have donated gift cards to us. So we're going to make sure that everyone has some for their clients. And then there are no specific dates. So as long as you're administering the surveys between the 26th to the 31st, your clients best. If they're unable to pick it up on the 31st, they can't come to your facilities and they can't come to mine, but they say, hey, I can pick up the gift card next week on February 6th or 7th. There's no limit on when you can come to our offices and pick up the gift cards, as long as you're doing the survey between 26th and 31st. Does anyone else have any questions? Thank you so much, Gabby, for asking that. Oh, Ingrid is asking, is there a specific time frame that we may encounter youth that do not have a permanent place to sleep at night? I think she's asking this to all the magnet sites. All the magnet sites have different hours, but we find that a lot of youth hang out, mid-afternoon to late at night. So thank you everyone for participating in this webinar with me. I know that it was pretty quick, but I'm hoping you got a lot out of this. Again, our office number is 786-469-2060. My direct line, just take out the 0 and put in a 2 instead. My email is aaradanas@miamihomesforall.org. If you have any other questions, like specifically for the Homeless Trust, email Manny Saria at manuel.saria@miamidade.gov. If you have any questions regarding education, please email Deborah Abel-Steiger from Miami-Dade County Public Schools Project Upstart, and her email is debalbo@dadeschools.net. Okay, and thank you, Mr. Miller. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Thank you again for spending some time with me on this morning, on this happy Wednesday. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'm going to make sure that I get this out to you all as soon as possible. So please expect an email before the end of the day. Thank you, everyone. Have a great one.